We look like we're taking one of those lover pictures. Like,
oh yeah, the 80s, like crazy.
You guys, do you see us on our live? Look underneath us.
What is this beautiful floor I'm laying on?
You can see past our beauty here.
I know, it's hard.
So we're going to not go live for the whole time on the floor.
No,
okay?
we just wanted to make sure you saw how beautiful. See this floor?
Look, we're smooth sailing on our plywood floors that we're going to talk about today.
Okay,
Okay. All right, hold on, guys.
All right, we're going to go back.
We're going to for real go live now.
Back. We're going to make sure our live is right. Make sure everything is
We're back. Whew. You ever lay on the floor?
Here you
Oh my
go.
God, that's a lot of work. Okay. So we are live. We're actually going Instagram and Facebook at the same time. So we wait for my busy over here. Wait, why am I going left? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
We're opposite on this one, right?
Because you can read our shirts, too. Hi, guys. Welcome to Friday.
We're going to have some giveaways as well.
We are. So happy Friday, everybody. As you know, you are here because you need to nail your life. And
With
we're here
Misty
now.
and Shannon.
Because we've really been nailing ours this week. It has been a really busy week over here. Nailed it. And man, are we excited to show you what we're going to be doing today. So let's talk a little bit about some house rules. We expect you to talk to us in your comments. Okay. And we want questions and high fives and hearts, and we want to hear it all. So we want to make sure you guys are getting involved in these lives because after all, we're coming up with things that you can do in your own homes where you feel good about what you're doing and you're not worried about it. So let us just be the guinea pigs. We'll try everything in our own homes.
I mean, that's typically what we do. We like to call them DIY hacks because it really is what we do. It's taking something that you want done, like hardwood floors, and that might cost a lot of money, and you don't have a lot of money, but you need to do something. You need to get that velvet gray carpet out. You need to get that yucky linoleum floor out, and this. Oh, I forgot we have this one.
I know, we're on Instagram too.
Which one do I look at? So we're going to just give you some different ways of thinking and thinking outside the box. So,
absolutely.
But let's recap the last 2 weeks because I don't think
I can't remember them.
Well, we did a week on leather.
Did you guys know it was March?
Today's first.
I forgot there was 28 days in February.
Oh my goodness, so many things. So 2 weeks ago we did leather. And we talked about doing some leather touches, adding leather handles to trays and drawers.
Ways to bring leather into your home because leather, people think like leather coats. Leather is so beautiful and it's masculine, but it's not obnoxious. It's soft as we sit on the leather. Yeah. Leather can be a beautiful thing in your home if you do it right, unlike my mother who has a black leather couch. So leather can be beautiful in your homes. And there was a lot of great ways we showed them to use it, including ways you can come into studios and learn a little bit more about leather.
Coming spring, we are adding leather to the program at the Nailed It DIY Studio, so watch out.
So that's your way of doing it without failing it. We'll help you get there.
I love it. And then last week, we were in hot Atlanta.
Atlanta is like our new favorite.
Where I'm from originally, if you didn't know that. So I love me some Georgia time.
Atlanta is awesome because Ashley Duro lives there.
Boom.
And Ashley Duro is an incredible human being who knows so much about just being a beautiful person inside and out. Like she's just, well, I love her. So we were fortunate enough.
Positivity.
Yeah. And we were fortunate enough for her to trust us to come into her home and fix her bedroom, which was a little chaotic for her and what she does for a living. It wasn't really working. So she called in the experts. If you guys did not see that video, please go to our Facebook page and watch it. Because it is the best makeover. And it's a type of makeover that you can do. Right. It wasn't like we brought in cranes and ripped walls out and did crazy things. It was just enough to get her balanced again and feeling good about her room.
Give her some great DIY tips to help pull all of that together. So we're doing it again.
We are.
Yes. So coming soon, Christina, if you don't know Dear November Days, well.
Check her out on Instagram right now. Not right now, when we're done.
When we're done, you can check her out. Go to Dear November Days because she is another awesome blogger that has a lot to say and she's pretty incredible. So we are taking over her office and giving her some ideas. We gave her some ideas this week she's really pumped and excited about. And on March 15th, we're going to be live in her home, giving her some more tips and tricks from the DIY world. So
we don't mess around. You got some problems, I'll solve it.
I was about to say, your problem,
I could not possibly say that sentence.
You were about to go there.
Without doing that. But if you guys have problems, let us know so we can kind of just be in your world of hacking and DIY and like what you're doing. So yeah, sorry, I'm like trying to get the screen.
Can I do like
this?
Of course. I'm gonna do like this for
thanks.
Instagram. Hi Instagram. Hi Facebook. Boom, 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 boom.
So tune in anyway.
So I just wanted to be able to see everybody.
So that was our last week. Coming up, of course, next week, as you said, is Office. So
Office not next week, the 15th. So we have another week.
What day is it?
Next week, we have an idea of what we're doing next week, and we just need to make sure the project gets complete. So,
and it's a project that every one of you is going to be able to do.
That is our goal, to get that done for you next week. So
raise your hand if you feel inspired by DIY and nailing it with Shannon and Misty, because we want to see your little hearts if you feel inspired by this stuff.
So before I get into plywood floors and what we did and how we did it, I have some giveaways right here.
Because summer is coming.
Koozie.
Summer is coming, you guys. Your drinks cannot go undressed.
Wow. And I don't know. I can't use that.
Oh, I'll try to use mine, but it's going to be too big.
Who wants a Nailed It koozie? Anybody? So do you want to know how to get a Nailed It koozie? Or I'll show this prize in a second. So do you want a Nailed It koozie? Do you want to know how to win a Nailed It koozie? Well, here you go. So we have a private Facebook page called Nailed It DIY Crew. Crew means you.
The link is above in our
it's up there?
Description of our video.
Is it above there too?
I don't know.
On Instagram, we'll
find it.
We'll add it in for you. So Nailed It DIY Crew. Let me tell you how you can win your own koozie. We will mail it to you.
I like how exciting we make koozies.
I love a koozie. I'm a koozie collector. Who else is a koozie collector? I love everywhere I go somewhere special, I get me a koozie.
Marie Kondo told me to get rid of my koozies.
No, you need a koozie.
But I do love my Nailed It koozie.
So here's what you need to do to get your own Nailed It koozie. I love all the comments.
Koozie.
So we want you to go to the Nailed It DIY Crew. If you're not already a part of it, ask to join and we will accept you. And we want you to post some of the projects that you've done in your home. So I'd love to see anything that you've gotten from us. We've talked leather, we've talked painted tile, we've talked the menu board, crate organizing,
magic light trick.
We've talked about picture shelves,
DIY wallpaper.
I knew I forgot one. Pipe shelving. We've talked about a lot of different things. You can go back and review on our Facebook page any of our videos. But I want to see if you've taken any of our advice and put it into your own home. I know a couple of my friends have already done this. Amy, talking to you. And so we would love to see how it's turned out in your home. So take pictures and post it. What we're going to do is the first 4 people that post, we're going to send a free Nailed It koozie. And we're going to pick our favorite project. So it doesn't have to be the first 4, just throughout all of them. And we're going to give you this nifty little tool. Wait till you see this. This is video here. This is.
You want to talk about a DIY hack?
This is my wallet Nailed It tool. It has 18 tools in one, and I'll just read a couple. There's a bottle opener, a letter opener, a can opener, a screwdriver, a cell phone
Who's
stand.
fascinated?
I know, right? A cell phone stand, a ruler. There's a box opener. So there's literally so many different tools on here, and we want to give our favorite DIY hacker this, and we will mail this to you. So go and start posting right when we're done, okay?
So Nailed It Crew, for those of you that don't know, is on Facebook. Under Facebook groups, we are Nailed It DIY Lifestyle, but it is linked above again if you don't know or can't get there. So.
Okay. All right, so let's talk plywood floors.
Oh my gosh. Let's first talk about why we would even have to think about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about where it started.
Well, it started with disgusting carpet. That's where it started. It really, I had in my bonus room some really bad builder grade carpet. It's been here 13 years, and when we moved in, we knew we needed to change it, and just couldn't afford to really change it and didn't
How
know
much
what
do
we
you think
wanted.
it would have cost to put hardwood floors in here?
Well, I know because we had many quotes.
So an example of a quote of a normal hardwood floor.
Just
so
for this
area.
room, it was going to be about $3,000 just
Okay.
for this room in the hallway.
So that's a lot.
Small. That's expensive.
And that was you doing yourself or someone doing it?
That was someone doing. That was just someone coming in
and doing
if
it.
we did it ourselves with hardwood floors, it was still going to be
Something
about
like
$20,000. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why it was like imperative that Misty and her husband that think like, okay, we're not doing that. That's silly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're here, right?
I'm not saying that hardwood floors aren't a good thing.
If you can do it, good.
Exactly. But we really, one of the things about Shannon and I is thinking outside the box, thinking a different way. So, hardwood floors is wood, and one of our specialties is wood. So, kind of thinking through what could I put on the floor. Obviously, I thought wood. What kind of wood could
Common theme.
What kind of wood could I put on the floor and make it look good? So I did. I went on Pinterest. I researched all kinds of different methods, and I saw a couple of people do some plywood floors, and I thought, oh. So we tested a couple of things. So let me tell you.
Lucky for you.
No, just for you. So
we tested.
So let me tell you what we ended up doing. So here you go. Here's my piece of plywood that we used, and you can see how thick it is. This is a something I learned, 15 and 32 seconds is what it's called. In the wood world, that is the size of the wood that we chose, and it was rough and you can tell this one actually.
And it comes in a sheet of 4x8.
4x8. So we cut it. Actually, our husbands cut the wood. It comes in a big sheet, and they cut it, and it's 5 3/4. And that size was specifically get your ruler out. That size was specifically so that there was no waste. So we didn't want to waste anything. And a sheet of plywood like this is like $17. So
pretty affordable.
And we probably used 10 sheets total for our room and in there. So think about that cost. A couple of $100 is definitely worth it. So they cut it to 15 3/4. So we now have these long planks, and then they ran it through a planer. Zoom, zoom. And
do you guys know what a planer is?
I really don't know what a planer is.
So a planer is basically, there's like 2 blades that kind of come in here and like take anything that's above that blade. So it'll like smooth it all the way down to its natural perfectly straight sanded state. So there's nothing here. Like you can lay on the ground as we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk on it. It's not rough. It completely just brings it down to the smooth state.
So really, I didn't have to sand it. I didn't have to bring in the big sander. Now, could I? Yes, you absolutely could.
Those big ones that you hold and like you run around and it sands.
You absolutely can do that. And I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see, there are some little gouges right here. Those to me are character. I like those things. When I'm dealing with wood, I want my wood to look like wood. So I encourage to keep those.
Sounds like a shirt. We want our wood to look like wood.
I like my wood to look like wood. So there the boys went. They cut, they planed, and now I've got all of these pieces. So they went in and literally just put the planks on the subfloor. We did not glue them. Let me tell you why we didn't glue them. Because if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out, or you decide to do something different, you can rip it out and it's no big deal. So one of the big things that we always think about is it's just wood. It's just paint. It can be redone. And if you're only putting a couple $100 in, it's not that big of a deal to try something out, right? So that was the start. We put it on, nail gunned it right to the subfloor, did the entire room. It looked incredible.
Laid it down just like you would hardwood floor. There's no click and lock system, obviously. So it was just laying them down next to each other in the pattern of like wood floor. And that's pretty much the installation part of it. The fun part comes when you get to.
They kind of saw a little bit of us last week. We did a little video to show you what we did last week. So.
Yeah, so the fun part comes with choosing a color. So the room that we're in, which is also on our DIY lifestyle crew that you guys need to go check out, it shows a makeover in a room where it's a very cool, chill hangout. Navy walls, a lot of white furniture, leather furniture, just softness and rough. It's just beautiful here. So we went with the gray that we showed you guys last
Yay.
week. We went with, like, this is my home.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yes. She does everything in here with me. So
Like, we went with, as husband and wife, we did.
They didn't know we're married at the time.
So we went with the stain here that you
And
see.
then,
Let's show them the one we used.
This is the one we used.
So Varathane
Okay.
Premium Wood Stain.
And the carbon gray. That was the darker gray. That was the second gray. Let's see. Can you see that there? Making sure both.
And the cool
my
thing with
medias can see
stain
this.
is, like, as we tell you in the studio when you're at a Nailed It DIY studio class, it's more muscle than stain. Staining and painting are two different things. If you're painting your floors, then you're probably going to roll it. If you're staining your floors, then you're going to use a cloth, just like you would if you were staining a piece.
And I can give you two really great tips about this. So we did start with that rolling lambskin
Yep.
pad, and we kind of started putting that on. And what we saw immediately is, one, we used a lot more stain.
Mhm.
So again, that cost was going to be up because I was going to have to buy more. And I didn't see the wood grain as much.
Because it was really just covering it. It was painting it.
Mhm. And that's not the look I wanted. So immediately Shannon got down on her hands and knees and said, okay, this is not
And
what
prayed.
we're doing. I was the praying one. And we grabbed our rags and we literally rubbed that on. And it actually went by really fast. And we only went through a quart and a half for this entire room and the hallway. And this is still half full. So maybe just
Can you imagine?
quart.
Like, honestly, if you're painting, it would have taken like 4 gallons.
It would have taken a lot.
And the cool thing is, because these are planed, when you're rubbing the stain in, you're not getting splinters, or you're not, like, it's planed, it's smooth. That's the key to this, is it's staining the same way it would stain if you were using a nice Eastern pine.
But look at the grain. You can see the grain, and that was really important to me. I wanted to see all of that beautiful grain. So that was kind of a key piece. So then that dried, and
Then we got our
pretty
hands
quickly.
clean.
That's
Because
cool.
when we
wear
left-
gloves, maybe wear gloves.
We had
next
stain
time.
on our knees, shins, my shoulder, my face, my hands.
I've got some pictures of that.
I
I'll
was-
post.
As mentioned
Watch out.
in our DIY crew, I would suggest gloves.
So now, one thing to think about when you're choosing a stain is it water-based or is it oil-based? Either is fine. There is not one is better than the other, honestly. But when you choose your poly, I saw a couple of questions there we're going to answer. When you choose your poly, make sure it's the same. So if it's a water-based stain, you need a water-based poly. If it's an oil-based stain, as we used, an oil-based poly. Also, when you choose your poly, things that you learn. So this is the poly that we used. Hold on, turn. Make sure it's a floor poly, not just your normal poly.
High traffic.
You want to make sure anytime you're doing anything on a floor that you're using a floor poly. I chose satin, but I'll give you a funny story about
I'm not trying to block you. I'm trying to show them too.
Okay. Stop
The camera, if I go like this, is there.
So we'll make sure you have it. So funny story, and this is real,
Write this down.
Yeah, this is real story. This is really what happens in our life, because although we're experts, sometimes we fail things. I mean,
But that's what makes you an expert.
It is,
You
because
learn
you got
from
to
your
fail
mistakes.
things, which almost is my quote of the day is, don't be afraid to fail, be afraid to try. Well, we fail a lot, but that's how we become those experts that we are. So with poly, obviously you never shake poly. You don't shake it like you do paint, because it
Not like a
creates
Polaroid
bubbles.
picture. I'm like in song mode.
I feel like I need music buttons every time.
Every time you say a sentence, I'm like, song lyric.
Yeah, I like it.
Sorry.
So if you shake poly, it creates bubbles, and then you have bubbles all in your floor, and you don't want that. So do not shake. You are supposed to stir.
You
right?
don't want air getting into that poly.
Right. So you want to
This
stir.
is our stir.
This is me stirring the pot. So you want to stir and get it all mixed in.
Mhm.
Funny story, if you don't stir, it's okay too.
Why, Misty, did you not stir?
Yeah, so we get so excited about the next step, we just immediately opened the can and poured it and started staining the floors. And it was very high gloss. So if you saw the pictures before, and we'll add more pictures, or actually you'll see a lot of pictures in the Nailed It crew, lots of shine, very high gloss, which is actually what I wanted. I wanted that high gloss. I like the way that looks, easy cleanup. So then we got down to the bottom of the can and did one more coat in the hallway.
I wasn't here. Don't point at me. I was not here.
Husband did that, not me. I wasn't here either. Husband was involved in the poly. So I came home ready for the poly to be dry, and I walked upstairs in the hallway, and the hallway had a different sheen than the bonus room, and I was like, what happened? It looked like I buffed it down. I didn't know what had happened. I kind of freaked out a little bit. I'm like, what happened? And really what happened, all the sentiments that go down at the bottom of the can were all that satin that it was supposed to be was there. And so I had a different sheen. So we had to go back and get another can and not stir it because I wanted the poly at that point.
So 2 cans of polys were used against their will in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. So I basically have a whole. So stir. If you want satin finish, stir. If you want a high gloss, you get a high gloss. But always stir. It's probably
beautiful loops.
Better.
Beautiful loops.
It was and that's something we do a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I get pretty excited.
We had a question on Instagram about planings. We actually do have a planer because we have that tool. I'm sure you could probably buy a cheaper one or find a workshop space or someone that has one. But yes, we have a planer.
Post it and ask somebody if you can borrow one.
If you're local, you can borrow our planer. Just kidding. Don't. You don't let anyone touch it. But no, seriously, yeah, you can get your own planer. So
yeah, it's not that big of a deal at all. So there you go.
So now we have plywood.
And I've got lots of pictures, kind of all the steps all the way through, and we'll make sure we get all of those posted for you. You can kind of see all the steps from the crazy subfloor to adding it, planing it, all of our staining and poly, and without furniture and with furniture.
And of course, she took off the shoe molding too.
Yes.
The one inch thresholds and shoe molding, and then once it's down, that kind of held all the edges. So we didn't have to stain like all the way to the edges.
Yeah. But
do tape your edges.
Yeah, we tape
before you stain.
Because you'll end up having to paint your baseboards all over again.
We didn't. We actually did it right. Just so that's clear.
And so that's this week. It's all about poly. The
plywood floors, guys.
Plywood floors. Let me tell you, Pinners Conference is coming up in April in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you're going to be in Atlanta, April 12th and 13th, we would love to see you at our Pinners Conference, not ours, but the Pinners Conference. And we are teaching a class there, as well as we have a booth with a really fun project. And you can get a discount using our code NAILED IT.
Capital.
All capital.
Nailed it. Okay. On the Pinners Conference website, not ours.
So we hope to see a lot of our fans there. So please share this. That would be fantastic for you to be a part of. And hopefully next week our project, should we tease them with the project? You think we can?
Let's just say the reflection of you and I.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
These builder grade homes, they're gonna really kill us.
Taking that builder grade and making it even better. So we can't wait to show you what's coming up next week. So please take this, share it on your Facebook page, and make sure you like our Instagram, our Nailed It DIY crew, our blog. We have all kinds of things. And don't forget, we have a studio coming near you. If you want a studio, we can get you a studio.
That's right.
How about that?
We are offering national franchises.
And we have, let's just make sure they know, if you're in the Boston South Shore area, you're in Marlton, we haven't announced another one. Sorry, I'm about to say it. Hold on. We've got more coming. Indiana, Fort Wayne, Summerville, South Carolina, Miami, Florida, Greensboro, North Carolina, Mooresville, Hickory.
Miami, Florida, you said.
So Rock Hill and Fort Mill. We have studios in lots of places and more coming. So please share. And we can't wait to announce 2 more coming soon.
Yeah. So any questions, post them below. We'll still answer them even after the live if you're watching not live on Friday at 10 a.m. As always, tune in every week right here on Facebook. Nailed It DIY.
And now if we figure out Instagram.
And if we can figure, sorry we've been ignoring you guys. That's a new one for us.
It's new, but I like doing this. This is good.
So be sure to tune in. We'll see you guys next week. Let us know what you think of the plywood floors. Bye.
Bye.